Okay, guys, welcome again. So this is quadratic equation part 7. So we are looking at another different format using the completing the square. This is exactly what I saw during my own sets, okay, to solve this quadratic equation using completing the square method, okay. So, and though at that time you have to do a bit of checks and look at the steps and things like that. So now, and I'm trying to buttress this part again so that we'll know that yes, we've completed this part. And there are some that can have maybe improper fractions. Anywhere you see improper fraction, just change it to proper fraction. And when there's need for you to find LCM, find LCM. Okay, that one is simple. But I want to use this now, okay, so that you can to buttress the completing the square method. So this is the question. That's 8x plus 3 equals 0. We name it as what? Equation 1. Now, in the previous, in part 6, I made mention of, writing it in general quadratic equation. If you look at this, this is already written in general quadratic equation already. So there's no need for me to introduce it. If you look at part 6, they only stop at s square. I don't know the question again, but they stop at the second value, which is s square minus 8x. There's no third value here. So now, they now said using the completing the square method, solve this equation. Okay, so don't forget the first step. Now, identify the coefficients. What is the coefficient to use here? Okay, I've told you the coefficient can be anything. It can be n, it can be m, it can be. So the coefficient used here, the coefficient, I'm writing this for you to understand. Okay, in a normal standard exam question, even if you write it like this, it's very fantastic because the examiner, either is a computer or is human, will know that okay, this person really understands this topic. The coefficient here, the coefficient in 1 is x. Okay, the coefficient used in 1 is what? Is x. Now, after that, we'll now, what's the second step? The second step is for us to identify the value beside x. So I can now say the value beside x in 1 above, is minus what? 8. So don't forget, I've told you, look at it here. The coefficient here is what? X. Okay. Now, the value beside x in 1, equation 1, which is this, in 1 above is what? Minus 8. Don't forget, you must not miss it. You must not miss this minus. It's what? Minus 8. So we'll tag this one as what? Equation 2. Okay, so don't forget equation 2. So the next step is find the half of equation 2. Find half. Find half, or let me use the word, let me write it in word. Find half of equation 2 above. So find half of equation 2 above. That implies that is half times minus 8. Okay, half times minus 8. 2 here 1, 2 here 4, which is what? Minus 4. The answer is minus 4. So this is equation 3. Very simple. Find half of equation 2 above. Okay, then after doing that, I can now say, what's the next step? The next step is square 3 above. Square 3 above. So when you square it, what will it give you? So this one will give you, that implies minus 4 all what? Square, which is the same thing as minus 4 times minus 4. Okay, so minus times minus is what? Plus. Don't forget, in this part I've mentioned that minus times minus, plus times minus in one of the notes is very key. So minus times minus is what? Plus. 4 times 4 is what? 16. Okay? So that is it. Plus 16, you are getting plus 16 because minus times minus will give you plus. So after that, what do you do? Then you can name this as what? Equation what? 4. Okay, I'm putting equation there so that it will be easier for you to understand. So what do? You add 4 to both sides in 1. Add 4 in what? To both sides in 1. That is, I can do it in this way. I can rewrite. Okay, let me rewrite. Let's rewrite 1. You can do that one from the beginning. Rewrite 1. Write 1 as x squared minus 8x plus 3 equals 0. This is 1. Okay, I'm rewriting it as x squared minus 8x equals minus 3. It's still the same thing. I've told you, when plus is crossing the equal sign and it's moving to the right hand side, it changed to negative. Okay, so it means let's do this. This is 5. Okay, it's simple. It's still the same thing. All I'm just doing is just to move this value to the right hand side, and plus is changing to negative. So what you now do is that you now add 4 to both sides of 5. Okay, of equation 5. So add 4 to both sides of equation 5. So this implies that you can have x squared minus 8x plus 16. You're adding it to both sides equals minus 3 plus what? 16. Do you see it now? Add 4. What is equation 4? This is equation 4, which is 16. Add 4 to both sides of what? 5. Okay, what I just did there was just to rewrite 1 above. I moved this here, which is very clear. So I'm now adding 16 to both sides. Now this will now give me x squared minus what? 8x plus 16 minus 3 plus 16. I've mentioned this is in one of my notes, either in part 1 or in part 2. Okay, so I have minus 3 plus 16. I have 16 naira, and I'm giving 3 naira out of that 16 naira. So at the end of the day, if you press your calculator, it will give you what? Plus 13. It will give you what? Plus 13. So that is it. So at the end of the day, you can say, okay, yes, you can say this exactly, you've used it to solve completing the square. I can bring this 13 in here, okay, and subtract it to give me 3. Okay, I can bring the 13 here and subtract it to give me what? To give me 3. Or I can take the 13 here and the 16 here and put it here. So it's very straightforward when you are solving quadratic equation. So at the end of the day, by the time I bring this one in, like I can say x squared minus 8x plus 16. This is positive. When it's coming inside, it will turn to what? Negative equals 0. I'm bringing the 13 inside. This is positive. It's crossing the equal sign to left hand side. It turns to what? Negative. I can say x squared minus 8x 16 minus 13. If you press your calculator, it will give you what? It will give you 3. 3 equals what? 0. You understand me now? So that is just to tell you that what is the perfect value here. You see that it's still giving us what we have in what? Equation 1, which shows that 16 is correct for the perfect value. So using the completing the square, it means that if I want to factorize this to get if I want to factorize it very well, I can use this what? I can use x squared, okay, minus 8x plus what? 16. Okay, so at the end of the day, I will get a perfect square. So that is the meaning of that. So it's very key using the completing the square method. Don't forget the steps. The steps are straightforward. Okay, don't forget coefficients. Identify the coefficient, which is what? X. The value beside x in one above is what? minus 8. Find the half of the coefficient of x. Okay, so when you find the half, you get minus 4. So what you now do, square 3 above. This is equation 3. When you square it, you get what? 16. So I'm rewriting 1. I can do this one from the beginning. It's still the same thing. I'm rewriting it. S squared minus 8x plus 3 is equals to 0. I move this 3 to the other side, which is what? Minus 3. Okay. Then I had 4 to both sides of what? 5. At the end of the day, I'm having 16, 16. What I'm trying to do here is that if I move this 16 to this side, it will cancel. So what we're doing we are not changing anything. If I move this 16 here, it will cancel each other. It will be 0. So, but from the completing the square, you had the result of the square of the coefficient beside of the value beside x. Add the square of the half of the value beside x, or beside x. In this case, is x. So at the end of the day, by the time you do it, you have s squared minus 8x plus 16 equals what? Minus 3 plus 16 will give you what? Will give you 13. Okay, so from here, you can bring this one in. You will still get your answer back, which shows that you are correct. So this one will give us a perfect square. But I'm very sure if you use factorization for this, you will not get your answer. You would not. You can try it. You can go and try it. Try to factorize this equation 1. You will not get a good answer. You will not get a straightforward answer. So you need to use completing the square. But if you factorize this, you will get a perfect square. That is the meaning. If you factorize this, you should be able to get a perfect square. So it means that this 16, 4 can go, 4 and 4. That is 16 divided by 4. If you factorize this now, 16 divided by 4 is what? 4. 4 plus 4 will give me 8. So I'll just say minus 4 minus 4 will give me, by the time you factorize it, you get a perfect square. Please endeavor to share, like, comment, then invite your cousins, your nephews that you know that they are. Please endeavor to invite your cousins, your nephews, or your friends, your neighbors that you know that yes, they are preparing for exam and they are having issues with mathematics, because I know mathematics is general. Please endeavor to invite them so that they won't miss all the sections and all the parts we've done so far. They should go through them at their comfort zone. They will be able to understand and it is clear for them. If you look at this one now, this is very straightforward. At the end of, if I expand this now, it will give me a perfect square. It means that plus 16 here will give me, but if you factorize this, you will not be able to factorize. Thank you very much. And then continue to share, comment, and like.